What is going on, guys? It's Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and today's show is going to be packed, so stick around. We'll be right back right after this. Remember, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the show, including our mods. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. With that being said, today is a call-in show. The number is going to be scrolling down below. That is 224400-MARF. You're able to call in right away if you'd like. Again, you might want to get in earlier than later. Dex will be manning the phones. We'll bring him in just a second. If you are not getting notifications, a lot of you are sending me messages saying that you all of a sudden are not getting notifications or you're being unsubbed. Make sure to check that little bell. That bell will tell you if you are actually fully subbed. It will say all, personalized, or none. You definitely want to have all, not personalized. Personalized means that you're letting the platform decide what they think you should watch. So definitely want to do that. And then, of course, if you want to just sign up for our alerts, that would be much better. Go to marfooglenews.com. Now, before we get started, if you're new here, we try to back up everything we say with a source or a bibliography of sorts, so then you know exactly where the information is coming from. We like to look at what is, going on in the mainstream and then pull everything together and try to figure out what is going on. So if you go to marfooglenews.com, you'll actually see it's very easy to navigate. You just look for today's thumbnail. They exist with Mr. Bomb on there. And then, of course, you will see that once you click it, it will bring you to every single article, every single video, every single tweet that we are going to show you here today will be right here on the website. Down below, there's web-only content, stuff that we do not think that we can cover without being neutral. I do believe most of this should be neutral. Of course, some opinion is kind of hard to hide. And then on the right side, if you do want to support us, we are truly independent. We do not have a multi-channel network. You guys are our backbone. Again, thank you everybody that supports. If you want to go over to Amazon or PayPal or any of that, that's all right there if you feel like it. Otherwise, this has always been my online family, the Foogle fam. So thank you everybody that has shown up. I was just talking to Dex, which I'll bring in right now. What is going on, Dex, my internet brother and co-host with the most? What is happening?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So we were just talking, we have some big news coming as far as family stuff, as far as Foogle family stuff goes. But also, we were just talking about getting, mods on the show and at least kind of a panel together so we can kind of just talk about stuff and have a more chill show later this week.
Yeah, that'll be exciting. Looking forward to it.
So also a lot of stuff coming up. We'll get right into the news. We'll talk about it later. For those that are hardcore that actually stick through the show, we have a small announcement here. And then, again, big stuff coming. All right, first off, we don't know exactly what they are. Mr. Obama says UFO sightings appear real. This is Barack saying that they seem real. So we are now a little bit less than, I think we are less than a month away from the big report release. This report, if you did not know, is going to be given to Congress about UFOs and aliens and extraterrestrials in general. And a lot of people are kind of split on this. If it's going to be another redacted kind of form that doesn't really say much more, or is this going to be a life-changing report that basically blows everything out of the water? We don't know. It says that former Prez Barack has laughed off rumor that the U.S. government has a secret stash of aliens and their spacecraft, while conceding that there really are UFO sightings that the government can't explain. It says when it comes to aliens, there are some things I just can't tell you on air. The 44th Commander-in-Chief teased James Corden in a video chat on The Late Late Show, aired early Tuesday. It says, look, the truth is that when I came into office, I asked and Obama told the British comedian with a laugh, and he said, I was like, all right, is there a lab somewhere that we're keeping alien specimens and spaceship? They did a little bit of research, and the answer was no. He deadpanned laughter. So first off, do you believe that? And have you heard that comment before? Like almost the exact same comment. Didn't T-Man say the same thing after him? And then didn't the president before that? I think Bush said the same thing. I even want to say Clinton said something very similar, saying the first thing I did is go in there and ask if there was aliens, and they said, no, there's no secret lab. First of all, we know there's a secret lab. We know that we publicly know that there's secrets, and that there's secret even armies of 60,000 that we just reported on yesterday. Dex, do you have an opinion on this as far as... I think you were with me when, I swear we covered this when T-Man said the same thing. Oh, and it looks like... Hey,
Adam,
No, I got you. It looks like the phones are already lighting up.
Oh, yeah, they're ringing.
Your opinion on him saying that there is no, they don't have a secret lab.
Well, if they did, he wouldn't be able to say it, right?
I know. He says, I can't say it on air.
Exactly. So if there's a secret lab, if he's going to blab about it, it's not a secret lab anymore.
Well, it's kind of stupid that he says that there's, that UFOs appear real, but UFOs are unidentified flying objects. So he's saying that, yes, they see them every day, but no, they don't have craft. We have to find that other official that said that they have recovered craft. Wouldn't that be considered lying if he did know about something like that and just straight up said no? I guess it's not, it's not in court or in Congress or anything, but it seems to me like they, of course, know a lot more. A lot of people...
That's what they do best, right?
Well, yes. And a lot of people actually think that he is somewhat still in charge in some ways, but who knows? And we'll touch on that later on as far as UFOs go. And it says that Russian central bank sees no risks of disconnecting Russia from SWIFT. If you don't know what SWIFT is, we'll explain. It says the Bank of Russia does not see the risk of disconnecting the country from interbank payment system SWIFT. But if such a scenario is implemented, it will be possible to transfer internal Russian traffic to the financial messaging system of the Bank of Russia, or the SPFS. It says the bank's first deputy governor, Olga Skorobogatova, said, it says, quote, "We do not see any risks at the moment, but we have SPFS. It works, and all domestic Russian traffic, even if something happens, can be safely transferred to our system," she said. Skorobogatova added that the central bank had direct contact with the headquarters and Moscow office of SWIFT. They confirmed that everything will work normally without any problems. So, Dex, is Russia disconnecting from the central bank? Is that basically what this is saying? This is basically, it says SWIFT is used by over 11,000 banks and other financial organizations across 200 countries and is seen as a vital component of current world order of globalized borderless banking. And then it says Russia has been long been one of its top 5 users with the system, a popular tool used by Russian businessmen stashing wealth abroad. In 2014, Moscow started developing an alternative to SWIFT known as SPFS. By 2019, several hundred institutions had connected to the system, with the Russian central bank announcing that 8 foreign banks had joined or were in the process of joining by that time. Now, again, Dex, I know that you're on the phone, but I would like to get your opinion on this. It sounds to me like they are making their own system. We reported a couple years ago about how they separated their internet, and that was kind of freaky. As far as this goes, is this them trying to make their own system so they're less reliant on everybody else?
Well, I think ultimately what they're, they've been threatened by Europe and others, right? So they're basically trying to they're trying to, at a minimum, make it look like, hey, we're not worried about your threats. Like, we can do our own thing, but at the same time, they're probably setting up so that they can, support themselves without using SWIFT.
So again, what do you guys think? If you were probably unaware of this before today. But again, this is another kind of sign that Russia is completely separating themselves, making themselves self-reliant and less reliant on the global system. I'll hop over to the chat real quick and
it's kind of like they're decentralizing, right?
Yeah, that's a way to put it. And for them developing this alternative means that they'll be less reliant on of course, everything else. So I don't know if maybe they're setting up for future punishments or something. Rage Against Machines says Project Blue. Let's see, Bold the Coffee. Banks are going to be the next hack. Ooh, that's a scary thought. Vicky Armbreaster says, are they joining QFS banking? No, I don't know. I actually don't know much about that. And then let's see here. What's going on? Hello, Marf. Oh, and I'm sorry to hear that. And then say, let's see here. Flawless hello. Life is better on stilts. Carolina Roots is here. Devona Wilson. Southern Boy Prepper. What is going on? We are all under the same watch on North Shore, New Orleans area. Mike Giver says aliens are demons. I saw Simulation 7 is here. The V Passport. Let's see here. Is evil and a mark of the B. Rapture ready. Just stop already. We see what you think, says Babette. Chuck Norris. I sure hope so. Makes sense. I don't know if somebody made a Chuck Norris reference there, but we don't have a Chuck Norris button here. Let's see here. No, I think that you guys are somewhat right on a couple of those things that I can't say. John Michael Zvanos. Shared everywhere. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate that. For those of you that can, share our show out. Of course, I think we have some really exciting stuff and some stuff that people are going to want to see in the show. So make sure to share it on Facebook and all the other platforms. So, 2 pilots reportedly ejected from an F-15 at St. Louis Airport. Apparently, it says 2 pilots ejected from F-15 on Tuesday morning in an incident at Mid-America St. Louis Airport. The incident happened at the airport's runway in Mascatu, Illinois, just after 7:30 a.m. At least 1 pilot sustained minor injuries, but the extent of the pilot's injuries is not known. Well, if it's minor, then it'd be somewhat known. It says it remains unclear what exactly happened that caused the pilots to be ejected. Emergency services are on the scene of the incident. So, one thing, it says 2 pilots, so is it 2 pilots from the same jet? One thing that has been said over the last couple of weeks is several countries are saying that they have the availability to hack some of our devices and some of our military equipment. Now, I just wonder, again, if something like this happens, is it a human error? Did they accidentally eject, or did something go wrong within the first couple seconds, or did something else happen? I really wish we knew more. What's going on? The Badger, Joe Cabral. We've got Devon Elizabeth Bradley here, Maria Jones, Nunu. Thank you all for joining. What do you guys think happened? Again, 2 pilots ejected. For what reason, though? And then we have SR-72, the Mach 6 boomer that could shake the world. This is a new Lockheed device, and it says of a hypersonic aircraft which may or may not already exist, seems explicitly intended to build support for additional funding. This may be because it's pursuing the project with the DARPA agency, which focuses on innovative development of cutting-edge technologies, often well ahead of capabilities in operational service, rather than fulfilling an Air Force requirement. It says hypersonic weapons, those capable of flying over 5 times the speed of sound, are the hot new buzzword of defense industrial complexes across the globe. It says China, Russia, and the United States have all vigorously and relatively openly pursued a diverse array of hypersonic weapons programs, adding fuel to the fire of a growing arms race. Is it really an arms race? We see that basically everybody had the hypersonics after Russia came out first. Russia did their kind of press conference, and Putin showed off all of these crazy devices, and people said that he was just full of crap at that point, including his low-altitude nuke that basically was nuclear-powered that could just go forever. It could go around the world endlessly if it wanted to, or at least supposedly, right? Not only that, it would fly low enough, and it was small enough, or in the shape where basically radars wouldn't even be able to catch it, or most radars. So that was a few years back. Now we fast forward, things have moved extremely fast in hypersonics, or at least they have said. At the same time, we had, of course, Space Force put into play. We, of course, had all of these weird kind of missions to space and all of these weird asteroid missions and simulations. What if all of this stuff is being put on as a front, and really everybody's combining to try to, get something that would take something out in last second? I don't know if you knew this, but the last 6 simulations now have horribly failed if we have an event as far as a asteroid goes. They say now, and they're like pretty sure as far as public knows, that they do not have technology to stop an asteroid strike. Why do they keep doing drills? Why do they keep doing these exercises? And it basically seems like they cannot do anything about it. There's no way to defeat an asteroid. There's no way to stop it, even with 6 months advance notice. So what do they have now? Do they have notice of one that we don't know about? That's what I wonder, and that's what I really, really think part of what is going on is related. That's just my personal theory. If you guys have one, please let me know in the chat or down in the comments below. And then, Dex, I know that you have a caller, but first I will say, if you want to protect yourself against EMP, we recommend this because we believe it is a real threat. We've shown you the information why. If you do not know what an electromagnetic pulse is, I would highly recommend going to the website and looking into it. Of course, if you do your research, you will see that pretty much any country is not exactly prepared for one of these, and almost every adversary is threatening one of these. On top of that, we have the sun as one of our other adversaries. If there is a natural version of this, which happens on average about every 100 years and is overdue, then this would also help protect your devices, protect your car, protect your home, protect your generator, protect your solar system even. Again, there's a device made for all types of different devices with motors or anything. Again, go to marfooglenews.com/EMP. If you want to pick one up, not only will you get $50 off per device, but you will also be helping our show. Again, we don't have any backup. You guys are a backup. So again, you get a discount. These are the same devices, the same company that is now working with DHS, DOD, and of course, working on the DEMSO team, helping protect the Texas grid. Thank you for everybody that's already purchased one through our link. It really does help. Right now, there is still a contest. So if you do not have the funds to get one, at least get over there and try to win one. It's marfooglenews.com/contest, and there's multiple ways to enter, including subscribing different places, and of course, going over all the instructions are right there. We are actually doing this in partner with EMP Shield and Israeli News Live, or INL. So again, go check it out, marfooglenews.com/contest. All right, Dex, let's get the phones rolling. It looks like there are already several people on the lines. We have Beth, a first-time caller from Montana. So let's get Beth on. And then Lady T says, Adam, check out unitednetwork.news. I will make sure to. All right, Beth, what is going on?
Hi. I'm just excited. I wasn't sure if it was quite the content, but Dex said it was okay that I went and gone. But the first thing I wanted to say is I got the sheets, the grounding sheets from you, and I'm a 60-year-old woman who's been trying to fight MS naturally, and boy, they're a big help, and I'm glad you recommend them, so I just wanted to say that part, that little commercial.
Well, it's definitely changed my sleep. I told people that they kind of that the company is restructuring right now. The gentleman who is like the main, Clint Ober is doing a lot of different stuff, and I think they're restructuring. So we again haven't really done it, but I still recommend to anybody to go try any kind of grounding or earthing. It literally changed my sleeping life. So, well, Beth, so what happened? It sounds like you had a kind of a sighting, I guess, or what did you see?
Well, actually, these are from when we lived in Colorado. I'm in Montana, but I'm a Colorado girl. And I was working. One was I saw by myself, I was coming down out of our mountains near Canyon City, Colorado, and near the Royal Gorge area. And there's kind of we worked at 9,000 feet, and they came down into the valley every day. And so it was afternoon, and there's a structure called Skyline Drive, and I saw the set of lights over it, and it looked like, a plane would be approaching, like I'd be looking right at a plane approaching an airstrip. The problem was the airstrip that they would be heading toward was about 15 miles the other way, and there's no way they could have been heading to, it would be way too big of a plane. It was one of those, not like we've got puddle jumpers there in the desert, but it would be only for small planes. And so I was looking at it, and if I stuck together the distance about how long of a range these lights were, there was a bright one in the middle, and then two smaller lights to the side, and then pinkier ones, on the outside of that, in a line. And it would be like if I stuck my fist out, about that big, so rather distinctive. And I'm looking as I'm driving down in the late afternoon, and trying to watch where these guys would be landing, looking for the descent into the horizon. And all of a sudden they just went straight up. And I went, oh, I don't think that was a plane.
So you're saying it was flying along and then just went straight up in the sky?
Yes, in the middle of, not the middle of the afternoon, but the evening, and yes, just straight up. And I know it was a long day in construction, but no alcohol was involved. And I was, it was, and I thought, did anybody else see that? As I'm looking at traffic, we're going down. But yeah, so that one, and to this day, it happened 20 years ago, and I can see it just like it happened yesterday. The other one, my son was involved, and I have to confess I did one of those bad mommy things. We went to the grocery store, and of course, you're just going to go in and just get that 1 gallon of milk. So I left my 12-year-old in the car with my 5-year-old son. And this was still the days that you're thinking, I'll just be a minute. Still a bad thing, but anyway, I go in, I come back, and my son, who's normally the typical big brother, making fun of his, poking on his little brother or just annoyed by him, his face is white as a sheet, and he's looking up over City Market. Now, this would be later evening, getting toward the dark for another reason that I shouldn't have done that. The sun was down. And he said, I see, I can't remember quite what he's saying, and I'm trying to avoid, I read the list of trigger words, so I'm just going to say plate. I think I see a flying plate, but of course you use the S word. And of course, I am yelling at him, making up stories. What are you doing? You shouldn't be scaring your brother. I'm dead in the car and everything. And we're pulling out, and he points up into the sky, and he said, "There it is." By now, it was darker. We drove from City Market out to Walmart, and we watched two lights this dark area that the stars disappeared as these two lights that we saw underneath what would be a blockage moving through the sky, blocking out stars as it went by. And that's when I lost all my oxygen in my blood from my face.
So basically, you thought you thought he was being a little jerk and scaring his siblings, and he was actually telling the truth.
Yes. We then went home, and I said, I want you to draw what you saw. And I swear, he drew all the little windows that would be, he goes, the lights were here. He drew about the shape of what he saw. And it was a typical, like it was in the movies, you know.
Well,
and
so
because I couldn't call him a liar because I saw it. I didn't get to see the lights that he saw. I only saw two, like what would be the landing lights underneath, you know, or the underneath lights.
Well, Beth,
that's all I saw.
Beth, you know, I believe in. By the way, just a little comment about you leaving it. My mom used to leave me in the car far younger than that. Now it's a little bit different, of course, but again, you used to, if there was a 12-year-old in the car, a 12-year-old was old enough to babysit. Things have changed so freaking much that it's like anything and everything could get you in trouble. If you told somebody that now, again, you know, I'm sure there's people that are in the audience like, I can't believe she did that. Back in the day, that was not something you thought about. Like, kids could go out and play in the street and play kick the can all night with no supervision. You know, people got hurt and people had mistakes. Like, now it's just everybody is way too oversensitive. I can understand now. It's not like there wasn't creepers back then either. There were creepers. There were, you know,
right.
The kid people back then. Now, just people are just so afraid of everything. It's crazy. I can understand why, but, you know, at the same time, I don't blame you. As far as the UFOs, that's the thing. Whether you believe they're fallen angels, I see a lot of people in the audience, they say fallen angels or demons or whatever. Yes, there's something up there. And, like, I look up at the sky every single night. So I know what you mean about blocking out the light. Like, I've seen things where it blocks out you'll see a cloud, you see the light from the moon and stuff, and then you'll see a shape block it out. And it's definitely, I mean, you know, we've lived so many years on this earth. We know what is normal and what's not normal. Some things are just not normal. And now I think so much is coming out. I mean, look at the headlines. What is really happening? And it all started about 2 years ago that the government is now coming out with this stuff. It's weird. Why are they coming out with it now? Is this all some sort of operation or what?
My son could have put me on Tucker Carlson.
Right? It's just, yeah, exactly. Well, Beth, glad that you didn't get on there for a bad reason. Well, Beth, thank you so much for calling. And again, this is your first time call. Don't make it your last, okay?
Just jazz. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Beth, it was so nice meeting you, and have a good night. All right, that was Beth from Montana. Do you have a similar story? Do you have, have you felt like something was above you or even better, do you have footage? You can always go to marfooglenews.com and go to play my video, and you can actually submit your videos. We make it extremely easy. So this is crazy. Back to the news. The Colonial Pipeline communication system was shut down again, but this time they say it wasn't because of a hack. I don't know what to believe here, but this is why I ask people get their head on a swivel. So my personal thoughts now that we're in here, and most of the people that are, we try to keep it tame in the beginning though. What I think is that we all need to prepare for things like this. This was a huge deal. This was half of the East Coast gas infrastructure, the fuel for all planes, for all cars, everything. Excuse me. And it was hacked like it was nothing. And they said it was hacked, even worse than another government, hacked by a civilian group, if that's true, right? Not a lot of people that I have seen actually believe that. They think it was, another country, or that there's some sort of, extra story there. If that is possible, then there's much worse possible. And that's why I think that we really need to get it straight and all figure out our stuff. And that means, practicing with family. What happens if the lights go out and they don't come back on? What happens if, other infrastructure goes down where we don't have any food or water coming to our stores? People don't realize the grocery stores near you and all of the stores around you, they get trucks almost every day. What happens when those trucks stop coming? That's what I want people to think about. And you don't have to go panic buy or sell your whole house, but you should be getting a little bit at a time right now. You should not wait until something happens. Whether it be the largest earthquake that the world has ever seen coming to the West Coast, Cascadia subduction zone, overdue by a lot. If you're on the West Coast, East Coast, you have New Madrid, you have all sorts of earthquakes that could happen. You have hurricanes, you have all sorts of different things, tornadoes in the Midwest. Whatever that next event may be, it's probably going to happen to you and you don't realize it. Nobody expects to be in the disaster zone. Nobody expects to be in the mall that the guy is, bang, bang stuff, Nobody expects it. And every single newscast, and you'll see this, and once I say it, if you haven't noticed already, they always say, I can't believe this happened here in my little town. I just can't believe it happened here. It's always in the neighborhood where everybody leaves their doors open and it's, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Even if it's not, people just never think it's there. And it's psychological. It's not because that neighborhood doesn't have stuff happen. It's because people think that it's not going to happen to them. It's part of our brain. It's part of our defensive system that we don't stress out all the time. You can find a really solid place in the middle and not stress out about every little thing that's going to happen. But you also need to understand that things are getting worse right now. So I hope people do take it seriously. We joke around and we have a fun time because honestly, a lot of this stuff is really downing. But I hope that every single person watching this understands that you really do need some prep now, not later. There's no such thing as prep later. There won't be prep in the stores after everything hits the fan. I hope people realize that. Thank you again. Shout out. Gone Girl 777, thank you. Corey Creates says, tomorrow here in upstate New York ends the mandate in stores and begins the era of showing a V booklet to enter a store to buy food for your family. HIPAA, First and Fourth Amendment, Geneva Convention, Nuremberg Code. So Corey Creates, I'll have to look up your local stuff. I don't believe that could be possible. To go into the grocery store, you can't. Maybe... I don't think they can ask you for your stuff. That's what I understood. That's pretty nuts. I'm going to look at New York laws there and see what they're doing, but yeah, you might be right. You Are Soul says, feel the power of love from Australia, all the way from Australia. You Are Soul, thank you so much. By the way, Jerry Carpinella Jr., I appreciate you supporting last night. You were one of the last ones out. Also, if you did not end up watching all the way over to D-Live, when we cut from here to D-Live, the shoutro from last night, there is a song with your name on it that got put on Marfoogle Jams. If you guys haven't love mobbed my channel, I've helped thousands of other little channels. If you guys can, head over to Marfoogle Jams and subscribe. The reason why is not so much for the shoutros. We're going to be putting out what I believe are truth-related songs, and it's totally separate so we can kind of go nuts with it. So I think it's not only going to be fun, but it's going to be something that can get the message out there. That I really do think music is a really good avenue for that, to get messages through music. Angry Mimi says, be excellent to one another, or be the change you want to see. Angry Mimi, I love that. Love that quote, by the way. Thank you. Tychos, we've got all sorts of awesome people. Johnny Fry Guy over on D-Live. Casey Lynn, 33, thanks, and salute to the Guinea. Lady Green Eyes, love you, Adam and Mods and Foogles, Ontario, Canada. Lady Green Eyes, we love you too. Thank you for being here. Very, very special people in here. Tower Bear, another one. OG Foogle. Pam Beth, Edgy Warren, Edgy Whalen, sorry, I never mess up your name. Scooby-Doo, right? Out of the Woods. All sorts of great people. Geisy is here tonight. Thank you, everybody. As far as this goes, it says, quote, our eternal server that runs our nomination system experienced intermittent disruptions this morning due to some of the hardening efforts that are going on part of our restoration process. These issues are not related to the ransomware or any type of reinfection. I like how they put reinfection, which brings me to my next point. There's something that we're going to be talking about, probably through other means, about a certain exercise that is going on very soon. And it actually talks about digital viruses like they are an infection. Very similar to what we are dealing with right now. So remember, CV, that changed the world real quick, and that was physical. What if they hit us with something digital and it changes everything? Think about that. This story, we got to be careful. BG reportedly hoped Jeff would help him win a Nobel. The more time that goes by, the creepier, crazier stuff that comes out. It says BG courted Jeff in the twisted belief that well-connected would help him get a Nobel Peace Prize, a former staffer claimed. It says the Microsoft billionaire horrified staff with the meetings, which started in 2011 when EpiPen was already a convicted you-know-what, and which reportedly left Gates' wife Melinda so disturbed it helped drive the couple to divorce. This is all allegedly, right? And by the way, this is from New York Post. So it is a mainstream authoritative source, even though, it's the New York Post. It says when his foundation's PR team was first alerted to the friendship, they were told, quote, it was a maneuver to try to get himself a Nobel Peace Prize, an anonymous foundation employee told the Daily Beast. It says, as well as staying at the multimillionaire Upper East Side mansion, Gates joined EpiPen in a trip to Europe on March 2013, according to Dagens Næringsliv, Norway's largest business newspaper. So one of their most authoritative sources said that he did go on a trip with him to Europe. That guy was this is just so deep. It says the pair visited the Strasbourg home of Thorborn Jagland. What a damn awesome name. Seriously? Man, too bad I already named my boy Jack. Thorborn Jagland. Sorry, I just got totally distracted by the awesomeness of that name. Thorborn Jagland. The name's Jagland. Thorborn Jagland. Who at the time was chair of the committee which awards the Peace Prize, the paper noted, saying G was being touted as a recipient at the time. They came to my residence with their respective delegations, Jagland wrote in the email of the visit, the paper said. The ex-staffer at Gates Foundation told the Daily Beast that the staff long feared the boss was risking, quote, potential reputational risks for the foundation with his ties to EpiPen. Which, by the way, has gone, it's pretty much disappeared out of main, news when people should still be talking about this. The man was taken out in a public prison or a public jail. That's insane. Oh, I'm sorry. He, was able to take himself out, even though all of the cameras disappeared and all this weird stuff happened, and who knows, the guy's possibly still around. He had friends like princes and kings and sultans and royal family members, for gosh sakes. And people don't question that maybe, just maybe, they were able to get him out and put him on the witness protection. Think about the information that he would have. Think about how Ghislaine's stuff is going. It's just nuts. Globalist Channel says Supreme Court case would let police go to your home and take your bang bang without a warrant has been denied. I believe 9-0. Just a heads up. Well, I guess that's a good thing, right? I believe I had an article about that yesterday. Corey creates again. Thank you, Lady T. Thank you. All right, we have our next caller lined up. Before we get to the Sag Plaza evacuation, shaking China skyscraper sends shoppers fleeing. By the way, this actually happened without an earthquake. Weird stuff. And then if you guys want to help us out before the call, make sure to go check out NordVPN. If you want to protect yourself on the cyber front, I would highly recommend getting a virtual private network. You can get upwards of 70% off or a free year when you get their 2-year plan. You'll actually get 3 for the price of 2 when you use the code Marfoogle. It's very easy to use. Once it's downloaded, you just press on. It's like turning on a light switch. You don't have to be technically savvy, and it puts you somewhere else in the world. You can also manually go in and put yourself in France or put yourself in Australia or wherever you want and unlock geographically locked content almost anywhere. Again, that's marfooglenews.com/VPN. It helps support our show. We are independent. We do not have a multi-channel network backing us up. We don't have a team. We have you guys. So thank you. All right, Dex. By the way, it looks like the bar was down. If you did have anything to say, I apologize. I did mute your line.
Oh, yeah. I don't remember what I was saying, but I will say this. That special on VPN has changed. They got something new. So you guys need to go check out what the new thing is. That ended on the 15th. So you guys, but still, they love us. They love helping the Foogle fam. So check out the specials. They're always running something good for everybody.
Okay, so now it is a new special, and I'm sure it's going to be at least, usually they don't go below 70% off with the 2 or 3 year plan. All right, and then let's get the next caller on. The number is 224400 Marf. Again, that is really easy to go over to. Let's see here. And it looks like we have Aaron talking about bacterial infections.
What's up,
Hey, what's going on, Aaron? So light spectrum and how to treat bacterial infections. What's going on with this?
Well, over in Europe for a while now, they've actually had a treatment they use, and they use polarized light therapy, and it's actually been proven to regenerate scar tissue, and it actually eliminates like the bad bacteria on your skin that you need to heal quickly. They actually found out that it accelerates healing processes with the epidermis more quickly. And I was afraid to say it last time I called in, unfortunately, but here in the United States, it's actually illegal federally to use it for anything other than cosmetic purposes.
Really?
Yes.
So have you, I don't know if you've noticed this, but there's been several trends right now that my wife actually noticed. There's a certain supplement right now that people are talking about. I want to say it's noni. It could be noni or something else. It's probably called something else. But it's been around for decades. It's been on Amazon. It's been everywhere. They found it helps treat a certain thing that's going on right now. And then all of a sudden they said that they're going to remove it. It's just really weird that they're doing that. But I've noticed, like, if it helps certain things, it's almost like there's pushback on it. Like they'll find something that's been around for years and then find a new way that it helps people. And they go, whoa, wait, that dips into some pharmaceutical, bag of money or something. And then boom, it's gone. Is similar with this? Or do you think that this is any way hurtful or harmful?
I mean, honestly, I'm not sure why it's illegal. Kind of doesn't make sense. Like, am I going to get arrested for shining a flashlight at someone?
I don't know. That's weird.
But honestly, I thought what they could actually do with it is when people go into surgical type procedures, they could actually use that and it would help prevent infection after they were done with the surgery, because a lot of people actually pass away from infection-related complications after the surgery. I don't know. I don't really understand it.
You're completely right. One of my friend's wife actually passed away during a simple procedure and ended up that something, they ended up getting a lawsuit in their favor because they used a knife or something that was pre-used on a previous patient, and it was not cleaned properly, and she ended up getting infected. So, things like that happen, and it's like it's a preventable death. It's something that doesn't have to happen. Well, it's very interesting. I'll check it out. It's called Bioptron Light Therapy Treatment. And we'll link this video so everybody can go over and look at what Aaron is suggesting, or at least what he is talking about. Again, make sure to go and do your own research into that. Well, thank you for calling in, Aaron. And
not a medical doctor, by the way. I forgot to say that.
Oh, no worries. Well, thank you so much, Aaron, and you have a great night, okay?
All right.
All right, have a good night. I've heard of like red light therapy and the different things for, that they have at spas and things. I don't think I've heard of this. Bioptron light therapy. I see, all these Walmarts have these sanitizing lights, the UV rays that sanitize everything. They have the stupidest devices now, and no offense, I'm sure somebody has them, but like your phone, you put it in there and it shines a light on it and sanitizes it. It's like you're going to take the phone out and it's going to be dirty in like 1 second. You would have to keep it in. The only point is you would have to keep it in there all the time and like cut a hole in it so you can talk on it while it's sanitizing. Like it's going to get dirty in like 1 second, the way that people use their phones. I don't know if you guys disagree, but make sure to put it down in the chat below. All right, and then we'll go into this. So Dex, before you get back on the phones,
I have a thought though on the light thing.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, so there's different standards here in America than there are in, say, Europe, especially in medical. So that's why a device like that would be approved in, say, beauty, which may not have the strict control from FDA, right? Whereas when you move into the medical part, now it has to have approvals from FDA, right? So therefore, it has to go through much more rigid, testing. And so that may just be what the issue is here, but it's really interesting because there are always something that you can see in other countries that may not necessarily be approved here, or it could have been that it's been disapproved, but it doesn't sound like that's the case. Sounds like to me it's probably just something that is in our bureaucratic system that takes a long time to get its way out.
Yeah, well, and the same thing with all of this. If they find out that something that's been around has it has a beneficial factor for something else, then do they have to stop it and reverse it and say, hey, we need to test this? Or I don't, there's a lot of things that I think that are held back because they're currently making money hand over fist in a lot of different areas. We just recently lost another friend. The Rob Matters passed away in such a unbelievably fast amount of time. The Rob Matters was diagnosed and passed away in less than a year. And it was so savage because the guy was the idea of health. He looked like the best way to describe it is the buff alien guy from Guardians of the Galaxy, the guy that just permanently no shirt. That's what his body looked like. He was just yoked. And he ate like a king. I mean, he ate all organic stuff. He ate, watched everything. And that guy gets cancer and gets knocked out that quick. He lost all of that muscle instantly, just was down to skin and bones before he passed. And it's like, do they have a cure for that stuff out there? What is going on? Like, it seems to me like they're making so much money off of certain industries that they don't want to cure that stuff. Think about the people that are currently raking in money. Do you think that they want to cure and then all of a sudden their money just dries up? Do you think that they would do pretty much anything to keep that going? I don't know. Seems like to me, the richest people in the world live to be so freaking old. How many super billionaires are just like, they just make it? I mean, look at Prince Andrew, or not Prince Andrew. Was it Prince Charles? Prince Philip, man, that guy looked like he was dug up a couple times. No offense. Anyways, and this is creepy. So, Seg Plaza evacuation, shaking China skyscraper sends shoppers fleeing. It says a skyscraper of more than 70 stories has been evacuated after it started to shake, sending shoppers scrambling for the safety of the southern Chinese city of Shenzhen. Local authorities do not know what yet caused the 300-meter, or almost 1,000 feet, plaza beginning to wobble. It says no earthquakes were recorded at the time. An investigation is underway. The 20-year-old building houses electronics market and offices. It stands in the heart of Shenzhen, a sprawling city of more than 12 million people, known for its shopping and booming tech industry. Footage shared on social media showed hundreds of people running away from the skyscraper shortly after it was evacuated. It says no earthquake was recorded there, so they don't get it. Who knows? Maybe there was like some sort of, what do you call it? A sinkhole or something underneath it. It's just very, very creepy. Let's see here. And this didn't collapse yet, right? There was something about.
No, it's just left tilted. But yeah, that's kind of scary. I mean,
do we have
to be
a
in
picture?
A building like that?
Do we have a picture of it?
Let me see if I can find one. There might be,
or actually see if there's a video that's on Twitter that we can show here, and then we'll try to pull that up.
If you go in that article, there, I just clicked on it. There's a Twitter at the paragraph. It starts with people in Shenzhen reported to have fled a 73-story building. You'll see a tweet with a video.
Okay, all right, that's what I thought. Okay, it loaded. Here's the. And this will be on marfooglenews.com if you want to check it out. Oh my gosh. That is absolutely horrifying. All right, and you can see it's visibly tilted. I mean, that is really that's chilling. I can't imagine, and that would be just as bad if that was a full building and it just out of nowhere fell. Think about that. That would be worse. There would be far more than 5,000 people in there. That would be worse than, say, what happened in 2001 if it just collapsed out of nowhere. But apparently it is not collapsed yet. So I don't think anybody will be working late hours tonight.
I don't think anybody's going to be working next door either.
Yeah, when you see the office across the street is closer than yesterday, I'd say I'm going to take a couple days off. Sent chills down my back. 2 earthquakes rattle Lake Tahoe, USGS reports. We have seen so many weird earthquakes in so many weird places. Casey Lynn 33, thank you for your support over on DLive. Thank you. I'm an MMA fighter and did it on my ear, says Casey Lynn 33. Let's see here. I don't know what you did on your ear. I don't know if you have if you're talking about possibly the cauliflower ear. Or, let's see here. Bear Claws, thank you. Maui Racing Realtor.
Maybe that light.
Oh.
That's probably what it was. The light therapy.
Okay. And Casey Lynn, did it work? I guess that's the big question. Susie Q82 says, love you, Marv. Bear Claws, Barefoot Last, thank you for stopping by. One Aunt B. Lady Green Eyes, again, thank you. Nana Deborah. Miss Jammer, thank you for gifting out subs to Miss Shaggy Dog. Looks like a new person there. End Times just came in flying in. What's going on? Thank you for the ice creams and the diamonds. I appreciate that, End Times. Thanks for stopping by. Angry Mimi, again, thank you. And Bear Claws and Griffle. Grilliffy. I got serious on that one. 2 earthquakes shook Lake Tahoe after Monday afternoon. U.S. Geological Survey says a 3.6 magnitude tremor hit at 12:24 p.m. Pacific time, followed by a 2.6 magnitude quake at 12:49. Scores of people from as far as Placerville and Sparks reported feeling the larger quake to the agency. Quote, just had an earthquake in Lake Tahoe, was scary. The magnitude wasn't high, 3.7, but at the same time, it put off a sound that sent chills down my back. I ran for a doorway screaming earthquake, wrote one resident on Twitter. It says earthquake just now in South Lake Tahoe. Overall, it felt pretty small, but definitely bigger than the last one. That was another quote. Now, it says a cluster of small earthquakes, with the largest registering at 4.7 hit near Lake Tahoe on May 6th. The Sacramento Bee reported. So what I really think is creepy about this is all of the reports on Twitter about the sound it made. The squealing and the weird just hum that it made. I would love if anyone with a video of that sent it in. If you heard that or got it on video, please send it in to marfooglenews.com. Go to the Play My Video tab and send it in. If you were in that earthquake and you've got video, if you know, it was, again, if you live there and you have something like a Ring video or something like that, it was at 12:24 p.m. Pacific on Monday. And then there was a second at 12:49 p.m. Pacific, again on Monday. So check your cameras. If you have 30 days back on most of the cameras nowadays, go back and check it. R and Rockhound, thank you. Bear Lover, thank you. Monkey Mom. And then it looks like we actually have another caller lined up here in just a second. But first, Pentagon plans to monitor social media of military personnel for extreme content. Just add Myst to that. What a great game back in the day. Myst. Such good graphics. Just such an amazing game. As part of the men crackdown on domestic extreme stuff, the Pentagon plans to launch a pilot program for screening social media content for extreme content, according to the Internal Defense Department documents reviewed by The Intercept, as well as a source with direct knowledge of the program. As Extreme Stuff keeps steering a committee led by Bishop Garrison, a senior advisor to the Secretary of Defense, is currently designing the social media screening pilot program, which will continuously monitor military personnel for concerning behaviors. But the Space Force commander, he was totally off base, right? He was totally off base for his comments. According to a Pentagon briefing in late March, although in the past the military has balked at surveilling service member for extreme political views due to the First Amendment protections, the pilot program will rely on a private surveillance firm in order to circumvent First Amendment restrictions on government monitoring. Isn't that funny? Going through a private company to circumvent the Constitution. I've never heard
Didn't
that
we talk
happening.
about that? It was in our show.
Yeah. Do you know which show that was, by the way?
It was probably like 5 shows ago, give or take. But we talked about how they were going to do this exact thing to the people. And it was a hypothesis, right? Like this is what they could do.
What is that show?
And guess what? Now you can. Now they are doing it. The person wrote it and said, hey, this is what they're probably going to do. They're going to use private companies to basically create a social, monitoring system.
And it's happening.
And now here they've come out and they're saying, hey, we're going to do it in this one instance.
It's absolutely happening. And this is Dex, is this not, this is to the T. This isn't even close to what we were saying. This is to the T what exactly the experts were saying.
Exactly what we were saying.
I didn't realize that. That was probably 2 weeks ago or maybe a week ago. I wonder what show that is. Again, here's the coolest thing about marfooglenews.com. There's a lot of time. And, exciting. Since we're here a little bit further into the show, and anybody that's just watching the first 10 minutes, we have something new coming, and we're going to need help. We're going to need your help physically, like actual people helping us. So that is coming. We're trying to make a forum of sorts, so we can share news and share stuff and have you guys involved, kind of like what we used to have, right? We've been talking about it for a long time. It's a lot of work, and you guys have been helping us along the way. Again, helping for physical, actual people helping us, not, you guys donating helps us as well. Thank you. But we're actually going to need like people. So we'll probably, we have to talk about a couple things beforehand. There's a lot of kind of, what would you call it, Dex? Like, I guess concerns about running stuff like that, but we're going to talk about how we're going to do it and how we're going to do kind of the terms of stuff. You guys have to realize when we do this, we are putting it out. So it's not like we can, it's complicated. I guess I'll explain later, but we are going to have some sort of form that is for you guys, and it is at the final stages, and we are going to need actual people help. So we already have people in mind. We also have mods. It just depends on how much, how many people we can really have constantly doing stuff. So very awesome stuff. As far as this goes, it's just scary. On the website, you can actually search. If you go to marfooglenews.com, this is so cool about this. You can go up here to the search icon, and when you do, so say I want to say social media monitoring. Boom. It will actually show stories that have those included. Top stories with special guest Muriel Hemingway. That was Ernest Hemingway's granddaughter, award-winning Muriel Hemingway that came on the show. Or if we want to say submarine. If you remember an episode with the submarine, you can go submarine. All those shows ended up having submarine stories in them. Snow, rain, or surveil. There's no stopping this. Stop hitting the between the lines. Isn't that cool? A world underwater. This one specifically, we talked about how the billionaires were buying these $2 billion submarines and yachts within yachts. That was back in 2020. Now the news came out a year later, and my information was right. I was going to actually point out that show. We got personal information of somebody who was basically involved in the sale of this, and there was no publicity about how these billionaires can buy a $2 billion submarine that is basically made up like a hotel. It is bigger than our military submarines. In some cases, the smallest ones are the same size as our military submarines, and they're all over the place. It's a secret world of underwater submarines. I mean, think about it. For them to travel anywhere, they've got to let all the governments know that they're traveling. This is like on a rich level. It's just like what we were talking about, the 60,000 people secret army that goes through stuff. When they go to the airport, all of their fake credentials, they have to pass through. And if it does get flagged, there is somebody there monitoring that goes boom, bink, and changes everything and makes it go through. There's a whole secret world right in front of us. You've probably walked right next to us or sat on a bus next to a spy and you didn't even know it. But what also you probably don't know is you're probably out on the ocean in your small Bayliner, and there's a $2 billion billionaire right underneath you. Creepy. We showed you that Bezos was buying stuff, and I told you that there was involved. People didn't believe me. Now it's public that he got a yacht with a yacht that comes out of the yacht. That's how crazy these things are. $2 billion something or other. With submarines and basketball courts and all sorts of stuff. Oh, man, nuts. But anyways, make sure to use this. This is a resource that you guys can use if you ever need to go back to a former story that we've covered. All right, and then we've got earthquakes. Pentagon, of course, planning to do this. This is exactly what we covered prior to this. All right, let's get our next caller on. Let's see here. It looks like we've got Snaps. If you guys don't know who Snaps is, longtime Foogle OG. Snaps, let's get you on here. And then, of course, after that, we've got a small shout-out here as well.
Okay, much love. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. What's going on? Snaps.
My brother, Fugle fam, much love to y'all. Man, I was watching the show earlier, and you nailed some things, kind of like what when Dex was saying that a lot of the people talked exactly about it, but when you were just talking about the secrets of the world, but then they kind of desensitize us or give us like, hey, this is a grant that happened, this is what happened. Well, I wanted to remind people what the story I'm bringing up is, even though some of these stories sound so outlandish, so crazy, and we have a platform that you allow us to talk about these subjects and all the Fugle film out there, this stuff really exists. And the story I talked about is how DARPA, General Electric, it came out last year, but now it's starting to come back into play, is how they are using Earthworm technology for tunnel resupply and warfare for troops, and
wait. Can you say that? Can you say that one more time? You said Earthworm. I just want to make sure I heard you right. Earthworm technology. Not Earthworm Jim technology, but Earthworm technology. Yeah. 3D.
Yeah, and the thing is DARPA, the Pentagon, the General Electric, these guys, big names that we know of, some of these companies that are involved, like with SpaceX that you've named, Lockheed Martin and others, out there, these are real companies getting real grants, doing real crazy mad scientist type stuff like we've talked about. But what I find very interesting is we do know that the whole underground tunnel things, and I know you personally talked to truckers as well as I, and, there was a lot of talk a while back about it, and it's kind of calmed down. And if you look at the timeline of when this grant was given to now, I'm sure they're probably past beta test, and they're it's actually active. And like kind of some of the things you talked about, the weird noises and the earthquakes, and this stuff does exist. And I just find it interesting.
So that building, and maybe China's doing it too, like the building that started shaking for no reason in China, right? Or some of the sinkholes that have opened up, or some of the weird things that have happened in the United States, some of the weird sounds. People hear this humming that the whole city, from hundreds of miles hear the horns, the trumpets, right?
Yep.
And
yeah, exactly. All these weird sounds that sound like, could they be like, mechanical type stuff. A lot of people are like, even the booms, everyone was covered. But like I said, we got to remember that these projects are real. These grants, the money, and we know Elon Musk talked about,
boring company
already tunneling down, so I just find it very interesting. And this article says the Pentagon is using this technology for resupplying soldiers underground.
So how would they do that unless they have this huge network of tunnels underneath us? How would they even start to do that? So just to remind you of what Snafus is talking about, I have said, so Tesla is now working with different grids. Supposedly the Texas grid, after that whole winter debacle, they were putting a building-sized battery that would be able to power 25,000 homes or something like that. They found out because people witnessed people with Tesla hats, loading this thing in, and they figured it out, and then it kind of come out. So Tesla is working with the government, right? The Boring Company, digging tunnels for under Las Vegas, different cities, and then of course do you think that they're not working with the U.S. government doing tunnels for, say, underground military bases, considering a real threat and one that they actually practice for all the time would be that booms hit all over the place and they would need to be underground? Every other country has them. And then we have, of course, Elon Musk is also contracted with his Neuralink. And we haven't even talked about SpaceX, which is contracted and has the U.S. Space Force flying up in his stuff. So that's why we watch Elon.
You wonder why, and we wonder why military-grade internet, the 5G, was kind of hit everywhere, probably to run a lot of this technology that they're, rolling out these grants for. But when you look at the companies taking a hold of these grants, such as General Electric, or as you pointed out back in the day with Lockheed Martin and a couple others out there for different projects, and different movements that we've seen over the last year or two. Like you said, there's the mysterious underground of, what's going on? Kind of like you said, you could be in the ocean having a good time and there could be a sub underneath you. But, like I said, as I always say, the optics are high and the optics are always there. And we are witnessing the desensitization of them being like, yeah, we're doing it. We're researching it. It's going on. Whatever.
Oh, no, I agree with you. And then good catch on the Earthworm technology. I'll have to look into that. Well, is there one more thing you want to say before you go, Snaps?
Yeah, man, I just want to say thank you to the Foogle fam, to all of you guys out there. I know me and you've talked a little about it. I want to say thank you to all the channels doing the Beanies for the Homeless project. Happy Hippie Crochet, Vlad, and Lynn, and all the Foogle fam people and crew, just everyone involved with that. That's just amazing. You guys are all awesome. If you want information, hit me up or check their website, Happy Hippie Crochet, or talk to any of the other Foogle fam out there. But no, thank you, Adam, for putting you and Dex in the mods, because like I said, I always say the optics are high, and I think that we don't know how longer we have to continue to do the content some of us do or talk about, or what's going to happen. And as I always say, keep seeking and speaking your truth, and thank you for allowing us to do that.
Well, you're very welcome, and thank you so much for coming on. Snaps, have a good night. Be safe, be prepared, and marf out. So this is their website. This isn't a video. This is actually Elon's Boring Company website, which, by the way, I thought it was so funny. Up in the right-hand corner, it says tunnels, products, projects, proof rock, loop, which is the Hyperloop, careers. And then the very last one is just, they threw it in there, flamethrower. If you haven't seen, it was all over social media a couple of years ago. They do make an actual flamethrower that you can buy. A civilian can buy a straight up, flamethrower. If you have not seen that, might as well show you. I mean, they say it's the Boring Company, but it's definitely not boring, right? It was a joke. One thing I wonder though is, why did they make this? Out of all the things, like, why? I never got that. A lot of YouTubers actually bought this gun and tested it out and did all sorts. I think even Nerdgasm, the kind of just regular random nerd vlogger, got one of these things. A bunch of them got it. Why? Why did his company even decide to make these things? Are they mass producing it behind the scenes? Like that, just weird. Anyways, yes. So you can buy a flamethrower. I think it's like $2,000 or something, or yeah. Look, they call it 20,000 not a flamethrowers sold. Fire extinguishers sold separately. May not be used on Boring Company decorative lacquered hay bales or Boring Company dockside warehouses. Elon Musk, this is a quote. He put a quote on this official website. The rumor that I'm secretly creating a zombie apocalypse to generate demand for flamethrowers is completely false. Elon Musk, January 28, 2018. The zombie apocalypse may not have arrived, but we are always preparing for the future. Know what we should build next? Join us and make it happen. Okay, so that is creepy, by the way, because they actually have scientifically proven that there is certain viruses that could have that same effect. But who knows which apocalypse we'll get first.
Adam?
Yeah.
Hey, so that flamethrower, by the way, it's also just a really pretty version of what's called a weed burner. Okay, but they put the propane tank in a small gas and they put a nice pretty package around it, so it looks like that device you showed on the screen, a GUN, right? But if you get a weed burner and hook it up to a propane tank, it's the same thing.
Well, and
I have one. I have one. I just got it and I used it the other day. I was like, oh wow, it's a big deal. Yeah.
Well, I just wonder, the NAZIS used that in WW2. There's actually a movie that just came out called The Final Stand, and it has a scene where it's kind of crazy because it shows you a realistic scene, a battle, and how the NAZIS came in and sent in their flamethrower guys with steel armor on the front. But the bad part is if they got banged in the back, it would just go boom, and they would be goners.
Exactly. But yeah, it's funny that it's like $1,000 you said, because it's like $14 at the hardware store for the part. So if you guys want your non-pretty version of it, just go to your local hardware store and look for a weed burner. Hey, real quick, heads up.
I have some shout outs to do first, but what's going on?
Yeah. So YouTube is down right now. Not just us, like across the board. Lives are not playing, videos are not playing, and a lot of people have come over to DLive. So just letting you know that's what's going on.
Oh, that's freaky. I just got chills when you told me that.
Yeah, and it's not that it's down, it's just when you try to play a video, it's not playing and the lives are shutting off and they're just spinning. So sounds like YouTube's having some sort of outage. So for those of you that did show up and missed a little gap dealing with that, if the whole video doesn't work, we will re-upload this and we'll make sure the whole thing's there.
All right, and gosh, I should have recorded it from the beginning. By the way, hashtagger over on YouTube, thank you, and thank you. I will make sure to get to that. Be best, be free. I thought it was my phone, but I see others are down too. Wait a second. So YouTube is glitching out hardcore, says Daryl Devine. Hi, everyone. Can't stay. Big storms happening here. Gone Girl, thank you for stopping by. You know you don't have to do that. Thank you. God bless you. North of Huntsville. Big storms happening here. Having signal issues. It looks pretty mean. Love you all. Stay safe. All right. Well, I'm praying for you, Gone Girl. Terry Dozier says, love the Foogle fam. Daryl Devine says, YouTube is glitching out hardcore on various channels. Thanks to Marf Dex for all you do. Thank you, Daryl Devine. And anyone else that's left there. Thought it was my phone, but I see others commenting, buffering bad. Then video went completely out and said something went wrong. Had to refresh. Be best, be free. I'm glad that it's not just us. The Globe channel. Supreme Court case that would let plea. Oh, got that one. Cara Fuse, love from Louisiana. And then from Australia says, you are soul. Thank you again. Everybody's building the big ships and the boats. Some are building monuments. Others are jotting down notes. I like that. Uper Viking, I might use that. Marf, not Mark, says McCoy DM, obviously after making a mistake there. SolarWind exploit ejected them. Oh, SolarWind's exploit ejected them. Watch. Hashtagger says, who knows, talking about the two pilots that jumped out. Benny Hill says, Dr. Vernon Coleman, please, 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 before you allow your child to take a experiment. And then McCoy DM, I agree on that. On same page as Marf and Dex, McCoy says. And then Watch Women for Jesus says, Obama is the AC. I saw many times UFOs are fallen ones. McCoy says Antichrist is ready to be revealed. Come soon, Jesus, Lord Jesus. Candace Thompson says, I got 2 emergency notifications like an Amber Alert for free. Stick it in your arm today for Central Indiana. They're pushing hard for us to get the JABS. I have something to say to that. Your mask, now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. And of course, Doc Bill, U.S. intelligence agencies have 180 days to share what they know about UFOs. Yep, we are almost up. Adam, check that out. And then Annie Rogers, love you guys. Thanks for everything. Your honesty is worth a lot more than I can give. Jerry Carpinello, thank you last night. And let's see here. We've got everybody over on DLive now. That's crazy. I don't know what the heck happened over there, but Appalachian Accent says YouTube has been hacked. Dude, oh my gosh. That is scary. Tower Bear, bad storms just hit North Houston. Okay, yep, Gone Girl's over there. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really praying for you guys to be okay. Reno Rockhound, Barefoot Last, thank you, King 5583. Might be a while. Billie Jean, Claudette M, La Vera Lucalini, Beanie. Woohoo, 10 Days of Darkness, God wins. Thank you, Jesus, says Defrustrated. Scooby-Doo, right? I hope everything's okay. I'm telling you, man, there's some weird stuff. Dex, we might want to look at just anything and everything that might be happening right now, because when all of YouTube goes down, and I'm talking worldwide, that's weird and it's very unusual. El Luna, thank you for the Ninja Genie. Make sure you guys can find out if it's not just us, that if it's everybody. I know that Dex said that it is. Lisa Davis, thank you for subscribing. Justin Wallace, thank you for subscribing as well. If you subscribe during the show, you will get a shout out. And thank you everybody for joining us tonight. Dex.
Trending on Twitter, YouTube down.
All right, let's check it out right now. So we can download this show and put it back up on...
If anything happens, we've got the whole thing. Even on DLive, we got the whole show, so we can use that.
YouTube. Let's see here. So we have YouTube goes down. Everyone on Twitter. Emergency meeting 4 minutes ago. Me turning my Wi-Fi on just to realize it wasn't my Wi-Fi. It was YouTube down. So just so you know, there's been some... you guys keep your head on a swivel right now. This is exactly what I'm talking about. People, get your stuff together. No joke. Okay? Major stuff starts going down, starts popping off. Definitely be aware of your surroundings. Get your family. Now this is just DLive. This is just us. It looks like there's still 934 on YouTube, if they're even on there. Maybe they're just still have it open. Get your stuff ready, okay? Hope people are listening. Solar winds happened, and that led them into... What do you think the odds are that solar winds is why they were able to get to Colonial Pipeline? And what are the odds that maybe Colonial Pipeline is just one of very, just tiniest percentage of what they got access to? Dex, very creepy way to end it. But Dex, would you...
just checking Down Detector. It even looks like a few other people like AT&T and Comcast are having high spikes and outages right now based on reports on Down Detector. Obviously, YouTube is the number one. But Verizon is spiked up now. Everybody's spiking up at the moment.
Wait a second. So there's...
Just go to Down Detector. You can probably show it on screen.
So you're talking like not just YouTube, but a lot of different services.
Yeah, but a lot of these always
happen.
A lot
at
of
the same
these
time.
happen, but it could. So what it could be is it could be a network issue somewhere that's happening that's affecting YouTube and others.
Oh, wait.
It could be
Well,
that these are users calling their cable company and complaining that they can't get to YouTube. One of the two, or it could just be something bigger. But it could be something at a more root level that is affecting both YouTube and some of the networks.
okay, people, if you are still able to see this right now.
Downdetector.com, you should see Spectrum, which is a cable company, Cox is a cable company, Comcast, AT&T, Verizon, and Google, but they're all spiking up right there at the same time.
Netflix,
even Reddit,
Netflix, Roku, Facebook, bandwidth. People, get your stuff together. Get your stuff together. Who knows how long DLive will be up here. All right, guys. Well, we're going to be monitoring the situation. We're going to do a short outro here. Dex, still can't forget the people that support us. By the way, I do want to make a special shout out, and I hope you guys love Mob them. Kevin C. Let's see here. Has a video. So I won't read that out loud. No, but we don't take well, I won't explain now. Okay, let's see here. We have thousands of people reaching out to us, so don't take it personal, buddy. Let's see here. Let's show. Okay. I believe I know. This is Foogle Fam. Kev Foogle Fam, I believe, right? All right. No,
I don't think so.
Okay, Subpar Music and Art. If you guys want to go check it out, Foogle Fam has some pretty awesome music. This was recommended by somebody else the other day too. I don't know if it was the same person, but make sure to go check it out. And again, Kevin C., thank you so much for your support, and appreciate you guys. Make sure to go check them out. For those of you that are still here, it is now time for the shoutro. Dex, it's not an outro. It's not a...
It's not a shout out.
What is it?
It's a shout-throw.
Nice. Who are the top 5 over on D-Live, by the way? Let's make a song with the top people here. And actually...
I'm sorry for that long pause. I'm trying to pull it up.
No, that's okay. So, by the way, we are also going to... okay. If you're in the chat right now...
Got it.
If you have a rhyming sentence, put it in the chat, and we'll try to fit it in. So you guys will help me make a song for the Marfoogle Jams. We'll start the shoutro now, and some of it will be from you guys, if you are creative and you can come up with something. All right. Have a good night. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marv out. Labs. Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Hey Lisa Davis, hey Justin Wallace, hey the Globus Channel and the Marissa Ballas. Hey, everybody wanna call it, do it everybody and everybody ball it. Corey Creates, Lady T, Annie Rogers and Jerry Carpinello and C. Happy Hippie Crochet, Connie Easley, Total Vagabonds and Mr. Kelly. Bring it back with the subpar music and art. Bring it back now, going in real far. Hey, Pentagon plans to monitor social media, military personalities. Hey, now they say he sent chills down my back. 2 earthquakes in the LC. Bring it down, do it all day. Mach 6 with the bomber in the bay. Hey, bring it down, shake the world. Keynote, everybody knows that girl. Gone girl, 777, bring it right back now. Everybody knows that we gon' heaven. Oh, yeah, bring it down now. Oh, nah, go bring it down, down, and bring it down, and bring it down, and bring it down now. Hey, gotta get it on funky. Down to tech the YouTube, down now the monkey. It's showing up now saying oopsie. Bring it down now, ooh, da da poopsie. Gotta bring it on, gotta do it down, gotta get it on. Ganga 777 on the phone. Ganga 777 always doing that. Right. Ganga 777 always rocking it. 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 Gone girl, 777, always rocking it. Ho, ho, ho. Gone girl, 777, always rocking it. Ho, ho, ho. Gone girl, 777, always rocking it. Ho, ho, ho. Gone girl, 777, always rocking it. Ho, ho, ho. Gone girl, 777, always rocking it. Ho, ho, ho. Gone girl, 777, always rocking it. Ho, ho, ho. I got the D-Live, now the Bob Dobbs. Bringing back round and I'm turning all the knobs. Bug out 45 in the struggle read. Old background, 7 globe, high C. Gone girl, 777 in the Bravo. Poker logo in the holiday, kiss it, yo. Gone girl, 777, always rocking it. Ho, ho, ho. Something went wrong, tab to retry. Virtual love hug, now I got it in my eye. Gone girl, 777, always rocking it. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, elbow cough. Elbow cough, munch your face off like it's made of hugging doors. Straws for the last. Then I'm kamikaze holocaust and it might not. Now you gonna need no bag, no jab. Ho, shout out, no, nah. I bring it back now. No mask, no ass, no jab. Bring it right back now. I gotta go different tab.
Froggy Marv, OG Elvis, gotta bring it bars. Oh, bringing bars like an OG Marv. Edgy Wellin and an amazing show. As a love your fam, gotta bring it down, now we low. Hey, gotta bring it with the Sherry Circle. Sherry Circle on the color purple. I got the Miss Gemma, and there's a scrappy Lucas and with Durgle. I down, I'll miss him on the bow. Bring it right down like you already know now.
Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Hey, bring it right back around and dodge a punch, but I never dodge a jab. No way. Oh, maybe the world is gonna fall. Maybe YouTube just dropped, or maybe you collapsed. Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Hey people, you can take off your mask now that we know that Fauci funded the Wuhan labs. Hey, I gotta bring it with the James Pando. Marfam, we the jam. No peanut butter, discover globalist plans. Before they stutter, the truth and wing. Bring it with the BG, gotta sing. Bob Dobbs, good to know what really going on. Hey, Bo with the Derek on the shaman. Hey, Laura Griffith, Crangrass winner. Bring it down now, Judy Dowg and dinner. Strapulicious and I love the jab. Wanna bring it back round, now I got the pad. Pad, pen, and paper, go and bring it down now. They having shaking skyscrapers. Def Danny D live, Thumb D live, love, and I bring it like I finally got on the chair. On it forever, bring it one to Def 100, Def 100, let it green eye. Chill with the enforcer line. Lewis, maybe I missed everything. Gotta see the bind. Gotta do it every day. Gotta go shine. Share with the enforcer, Lewis, bring it with the Becky Bannon and that geographically free. Got that Christine Seedman. Christine Seedman, I be. Gotta be a. She loves being. She loves being Christine Seedman. She loves being. I love being Chrissy Freeman. I love being Chrissy Freeman. Hold on, hold it back. Bring it down in the showdown. I love being Chrissy Freeman. Oh, nah. Thank you for the comment, by the way. I see and I read all the comments. That's a really good way to get a hold of me, too. If you're down in the comment section down below YouTube, I read almost all of them. Is Magneto the Great? Everybody full of so much anger and hate. Vaz Shadow in the peaceful waters. And all those lovely emojis. Shoutro with the NOE. Heddleman VC with the BC. Who's the Antichrist? Maybe BC or maybe BG. Mr. Gates. The rapture is imminent. Happy birthday, Christine Nemesis. Who is that? Maybe Jeffy Epicen and the Peppian. Oh, maybe EpiPen. Lindsay C, Dabby, Scrappylicious, iPad Mermaid, True the Hoops, with the Truth Loops, with the yo-yo, and to bring it right down and the